Welcome to Gravitas Studios, Behind the Boarding Pass podcast. Today we dive into the latest Epstein document release. The recent release of documents linked to Jeffrey Epstein has renewed global scrutiny of elite political and financial networks. While focus was traditionally on the West, these disclosures now significantly broaden the visibility into Africa. Geopolitically, these files are less about legal guilt and more about network exposure and latent reputational risk. In Zimbabwe, materials indicate that former President Robert Mugabe may have had financially mediated contact with Epstein. This connection, described in correspondence rather than transactional records, remains remarkably opaque. Crucially, no evidence of illegal activity is alleged, and the documents do not assert personal meetings. The mention appears within Epstein's pattern of cultivating relationships with global elites through intermediaries. Mugabe's inclusion is notable primarily because of his long-standing adversarial relationship with Western governments. Any perceived linkage feeds into historical narratives of opaque funding streams surrounding semi-isolated regimes. Moving to South Africa, the files detail a dinner organized for the former president, Jacob Zuma. The record suggests a social or diplomatic engagement, rather than a sustained, deep relationship. This event is consistent with Epstein's pattern of facilitating social gatherings as a means of access and influence. There is no indication that Zuma met Epstein directly, nor that the dinner resulted in political outcomes. In South Africa's context, this mention is politically sensitive, even in the absence of specific allegations. It reinforces how historical associations can be retroactively reframed within existing domestic narratives. For strategists, the importance of these revelations lies in secondary effects, not primary allegations. Association with Epstein carries reputational weight, especially where political legitimacy is already fragile. The files contribute to understanding Epstein as a social broker, connecting business and politics across continents. African leaders' presence in these networks underscores the global reach of informal elite diplomacy. Such disclosures are vulnerable to weaponization by domestic opponents and foreign actors seeking leverage. Media ecosystems prone to sensationalism can quickly escalate these mentions into major scandals. While Western figures have institutional buffers, African figures are more exposed to retrospective reinterpretation. Their global engagements are now being viewed through a lens that didn't exist decades ago. Historical proximity to controversial figures can resurface as a strategic liability many years later. In geopolitics, association alone can become a vector of influence, pressure, or narrative control. The bottom line? Legality is one thing. The optics of association are another entirely. This release serves as a reminder that the past is never truly settled in the world of high-stakes diplomacy. Subscribe to Gravitas Studios Behind the Boarding Pass podcast. Share, like, and drop your comments. Your voice is part of the journey. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.